Welcome to the Aaron L. Show. If you've been on the internet and you follow cryptocurrency, you follow the space, we all know it's been XRP, XRP, XRP. This coin has surged into the public eye to a point where a lot of people are just new to the space and they're investing their money into this currency. But we don't really know why we investing into this currency. What we're actually doing is we're just investing because we hear the hype, we hear it being talked about all over the space, and that's why some of the new people that invest in this space put their money in there. They really don't know why they're putting their money in there. They're just putting their money in there because they basically is following a trend, and that's not always a bad thing, but sometimes you want to be a little knowledgeable of what you're investing your money in and the reason why you're investing your money. Now, over the time of me investing in cryptocurrency, the different currencies, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Dogecoin, and just a lot of things that's on the space, I would just invest off of the hype. I would invest off of the content creators that's talking about it. You get a little information there, and it does kind of help you be a little more knowledgeable. But one thing I've learned over the years is that in order for a currency to sustain its growth and to sustain the price, it has to have a use case. And, that's one thing that I feel like I'm going to get on here online right now and talk about is the use case of XRP, because a lot of these meme coins, what they do is they're basically just having price action off of the amount of people that is invested in it. So when a mass amount of people come into a meme coin, and like Dogecoin, that's a meme coin. It really doesn't have a use case scenario right now. The only price action you're going to get off a coin like that is when a mass amount of people start to invest in it off news or just some hype off of Twitter, formerly known, it's X now, but stuff like that. Then it runs a little bit and you put your money in looking for that sustained growth, and then it goes back down and you lose because it really doesn't have a use case scenario. Coins that has a use case scenario and is gonna sustain its growth, then it needs to go up, and then it needs to hold its new high and kind of level out there, and then it'll slowly go up more, and then that's when you start to get your benefits. So this show right here, I'm going to just talk about some news that I've seen on XRP, some of the reasons why I invest in XRP, and just the CEO, some of the information that I've been finding online, just to make people who do invest in XRP that don't know much about XRP can be a little more knowledgeable of why they're putting their money into it, why they have the conviction they have. And it helps you understand that this coin has sustainability, it has a use case. And when you do see it go down a little bit, you will see it level out, because you have people that's invested in a coin not just for it to go up overnight and then pull their money out. These people that invest in XRP actually puts their money in there and they lets it sit because they believe in the use case scenario, the future. They're seeing a lot of institutions come in with their money and invest in this company, and it's going to have a use case scenario. So that's why I believe XRP is one of the coins of the future. It will sustain its growth, and you will get your returns like you want to. So this is some of the stuff that I found about XRP. So just bear with me. This is some of the notes that I took down about this coin, so that I could be a little more knowledgeable, so that I can believe in a coin a lot more and have the conviction to where second I see the coin drop 5-10%, I just don't run for the hills. So XRP has on-demand liquidity, which is used by financial institutions to instantly bridge fiat currencies, thereby reducing their dependence on pre-funded Nastro account. Power minting and trading of NFTs on the XRP ledger can be staked, lent, or utilized as collateral on decentralized platforms to facilitate borrowing and yield generation. Now, what that is basically saying is that people can put their money on platforms, and you can basically borrow against the XRP that you have in your account. It's a decentralized platform to where it's basically not being manipulated by the government, and it has a yield generation, meaning that your money is going to grow over time. You can, it has a power minting, so you have people mining XRP just like they mine Bitcoin and Ethereum. XRP is also used as a transactional asset designed to facilitate financial settlements, scalability, and speed. So XRP basically, it's a transactional asset designed to facilitate financial settlements. So basically, you can use XRP as a payment platform in certain areas, and it has speed. If you notice, sometimes you buy a coin on a platform and it takes a long time to go through the transaction, or you might want to send somebody XRP and it takes forever to get over there to that person, or if you just send it someone XRP. So XRP is basically working on scalability, speed, facilitating financial settlements. And then you also have big companies like BlackRock is in negotiations with XRP, I think, to make an NFT. It's certain things that XRP has going on that's going to sustain its scalability and sustain its growth over time. And then, XRP, they're talking about the resistance. Resistance is located near the 320, 330 zone, and support is found around the 260 price point. However, momentum has cooled since the July rally, with the micro now hovering near a position above 260. A period of consolidation may result in the retest of $3. So we know in the last few days that XRP has kind of like, took a hit, which the whole cryptocurrency market has. But the one thing they're letting you know, that resistance around 260, that lets you know that this coin will hit maybe 260, maybe go a little bit lower, but it's not going to just dramatically drop down to $2, because you have a lot of people, a lot of these financial institutions that bought in at about 260. So you have millions and millions and millions of coins bought at that price, and that's what gives it the support. When they say support, that means that this coin shouldn't, and nothing's guaranteed, but it shouldn't drop no lower than 260. If it does, you're not going to see it go too much lower than that. And if it does, it's going to trigger a lot of buys. That's when you'll see a lot of people that has conviction on XRP come running in by the millions, buying this coin up at that price, because that's a price that a lot of people love to see. When they know a coin is going to rise in the long run, they love to see the coin drop to a certain price action, and then they just run in with millions. You have people always sitting on the sideline with millions waiting to invest, but they're looking for certain price points. Everybody just don't get paid. Second they get their money, just buy XRP at whatever price. You have people that just put money to the side and put money to the side, and they're actually waiting for an area to buy XRP. And when it hits that price point, that's when you see it triggers. If you know anything about investing, you know that you could put your money on certain platforms and trigger it to buy at a certain price. Even if it takes 2, 3, 4 weeks, a month, once it hit that price point, it will initiate your buy right then for you automatically. And this is just another little thing that I wrote about it with BlackRock and stuff like that, just to try to make people knowledgeable that's in my community, help the people out that follows my videos, and just let you guys know that I do put my work in, and I do take a look at the things that I talk about on YouTube and TikTok. I don't just let you guys, just get on here and just talk, So Ripple price prediction, XRP discussions have increased transactions after CEO Brad Garlinghouse gave cues about a major announcement related to BlackRock. The community is listening intensely as XRP has been positioned for years as a blockchain platform with the potential to change the dynamics of payment globally. So if you really look at something like that, you would really think to yourself and say that, this coin is trying to become a global currency. It's not just a coin. It's not just a token. It's not a meme coin. It has a use case scenario, so this is not something that the CEO, Brad Garlinghouse, is just, they're out there just trying to make a quick buck. They're trying to get the coin to surge so that they can sell everything they own and run for the hills rich. These guys are in here for the long run. They're talking to different governments. They're talking to different investment firms. They're definitely trying to get backed by some institutions. And when that institutional money come in, that's where you see the super rise, you see the super spike, and that's when you see the money that you invested into this coin double, triple, and flipple up. And you can become a potential millionaire if you're positioned in this token. And this is the last thing I wrote about it. While traditional platforms remain in control, XRP is growing at light speed and reducing costs, which are drivers of adoption. Besides this, newer entrants like Remitex, RTX, are also emerging in the same payment area, increasing competition in the space. So if you really look at it, Remitex is RTX is basically another coin. It's basically another payment platform that's emerging. So really this space is getting flooded with a whole bunch of different companies that's trying to get into the space, because this is a hot area right now, payment platform. And we all know that from just watching the kids use Cash App. This is another payment platform, and and this is going to be something like Cash App. If you guys heard of Cash App, Cash App is huge. And I believe that XRP is going to be in the same discussion as Cash App and have the same use case scenario. They're going to come with debit cards, credit cards, XRP backed cards, where you're able to use your XRP tokens and just immediately use it as a Visa card and stuff like that. So these are the use cases scenario. This is what the sustainability is going to come from. This is where the growth of the coin is going to come from. The adoption by the public. It could be a lot of financial institutions that invest in XRP, but we all know that the major growth is going to come with the average person that works a 9 to 5, take their money and put it on the platform and start to shop for groceries, paying PG&E and car notes and insurance, and just using Ripple XRP as is daily, function, how they buy lunch and coffee and, the things that they use daily. Once this coin reaches that point, then you'll start to see it it's already the number 3 traded coin on a lot of platforms. So it's right behind Bitcoin and Ethereum, but we just haven't seen that type of price action. Because if you have Bitcoin over 100,000, Ethereum at the 4,000 range, and then Ripple, the third XRP, the third leading coin at $3, in your mind you like, this coin should be at least like 200, 300, 400, at least the third biggest coin on the platform, or at least at the Solana area of 200 something. So it's like, in order for this coin to get to that level, we're looking at least 100x. So I would advise anybody to take what you can afford to put into this token. Don't position yourself too heavy, not more than you could afford to lose. And this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. This is just a suggestion, advice. I'm not telling you that this is rock solid. XRP can go to 0 tomorrow. I don't want you to look at the Aaron L show and say, hey, I listened to this joker and put my life savings in here and now it went to dust. So I'm not telling you to do that. I'm just giving you information, informing you on the information that I have, so hopefully it can benefit you financially. And if it doesn't, don't hold it against me, because I would have took a loss with you, because I'm not just talking about it. I'm investing and putting my money where my mouth is too. But like I said, they're building the speed of this coin, the transactions. You have BlackRock coming in, and they're basically a huge financial institution. They manage millions and billions and billions and billions of dollars. So, once they build a partnership with them, I believe Brad Garlington, I'm going to do a lot of more information on him. I'm going to do a video on him so that we can get down to the nitty gritty of who this guy is, what his background is, and why we going to believe that this CEO is going to take this coin and this company to the highs that he believes it can reach. And that's kind of everything that I wanted to just make you guys knowledgeable of today. This is the Aaron L Show. If you watched it to the end, I appreciate you guys. I'm going to work harder on having more solid information when I come on here and talk to you guys, so you guys can really see that I'm doing what I have to do and informing you on information that's current, is knowledgeable information. Is definitely information you can take and use and move forward with. But once again, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just giving you information that I became aware of, and hopefully it can help you in some way, form, or fashion. This is the Aaron L Show. Please subscribe to the channel. Please like the channel. I appreciate you guys who watched this video to the end. I'll be at y'all with another one. Let's get it.